building a really robust marketing system takes time, and you want to build that when things are good. So I would highly recommend you think about, what has my growth trajectory looked like over the last 12 to 24 months, and why has it done that? And then if I want to maintain this level, what action do I need to take? Hey, I'm Spencer Powell, and welcome back to Builder Funnel TV, where remodelers and custom builders tune in to learn business growth strategies. Today, I want to go over basically 3 ways that I think remodelers are going to fail in 2022. And my hope is that after outlining these 3 things, that this will not happen, or it will not happen to a lot of people that are thinking about these potential pitfalls and things that I think will start kind of hitting the industry. So let's dive into them, talk about why I think they're going to happen, and then how we can prevent those things from happening. So the first one is thinking about booking projects out too far. And this actually hit me when I was having a conversation with somebody down in Texas, and they said they're actually booked out and booking projects into 2023. And at the time that we were talking, it was early Q4 of 2021, which means they had booked out the rest of the year, all of 2022, and then they were starting to book stuff into 2023. Now, there's some good elements of this, but I think that this is too far. So the good element is, hey, you're building out a backlog. And I think this is something that we've always strived for in this space, is making sure we have a really secure backlog and a steady backlog of projects, so you're not always chasing the next project and just trying to get them right into the pipeline. You always have some level of backlog, and that's good. It provides stability and security for the team, for the company, and all those types of things. It also shows that you're in demand. Right now, everyone's in demand, and that's purely from outside market forces, right? The industry is booming. There's not enough labor. There's not enough companies. There's not enough people to do the work that's out there. And so people are booking out projects. That's a great thing. However, being over 12 months booking out, I think is actually a very dangerous place to be. And so I think people that book out too far are actually going to hit a lot of roadblocks, and they're kind of dodging a current issue that they're not acknowledging is true. And so let's talk about that piece. The issue that you're not acknowledging by continuing to book out and book out and book out is, I actually don't know how to get more work done in the same amount of time. So a good example, I think this guy was at about $1 million or just over $1 million in sales. And so if you think about, okay, I'm going to do $1 million in 2021, and then I'm booking out $1 million worth in 2022, and then I'm starting to book out in 2023. Well, basically what you're saying is, I don't know how to go past $1 million in 2022, because if you could do more, then you wouldn't need to book out into 2023. You'd say, yep, we can get you into the schedule. Even if it was, May or June, we're going to start working on your design or whatever it is. And that still would have been 8 or 9 months from the time of signing. Really, what that is telling you is you have a production problem. So you either have a hiring challenge, or you haven't been able to train people, or you don't know how to bring in fresh people and train them from the ground up. But you basically said, hey, I know how to do $1 million, and I'm just going to try to build my backlog based on $1 million. So if you really want to get to the next level, this is the best time to do it. There's so much demand that you are actually, that part of the equation is taken off the table. But if you're sitting there and you literally just have so much demand because there's so much demand in the market, and you haven't done anything different for marketing or sales, you're just flooded with opportunity. This is a signal to figure out your production and how to scale production, because otherwise, when there's no demand, you'll just go right back to $1 million. So I think that actually is a hidden issue. And so this is a really good opportunity to find new subcontractors, form new relationships, start hiring people in-house, training people in-house. Even if those things take a while, you need to build those systems anyway if you want to scale and grow your business. So that is the first problem. And I think people are going to start losing those jobs that are booked out too far, because there are companies that are going to solve this challenge. And so if somebody's on a 14-month, 16-month wait list, they're going to be shopping and they're going to find some other companies, and then they're just going to get in line and get their project done sooner somewhere else. So I think that's actually a huge risk. And so if that's you, if you're booking out super, super far, start looking at how you can pull some of those people closer into the backlog. They can still be in the backlog, but I think that's too far. So that is the first one. The second one, and the second reason I think a lot of people will fail, is they're not charging enough. Now, we have seen costs going up, prices going up, obviously with materials, labor, all those types of things in the construction space. And so if you're not bringing your prices up along with those, then you're getting squeezed, thinner on your margins, or you're just not improving your margins. And so they will slowly erode over time as those other costs and prices go up. Material costs going up, that's not your issue and your problem. If you've got customers, hey, this is what it costs, like prices are going up. And so you've got to be able to charge enough. And again, this is a situation where we've got so much demand that this is actually the best time to raise prices. Because if you don't do that now, what makes you think you're going to be able to raise your prices when things are slow? That's usually when it's most difficult, because you want to cut costs, you want to land every job you can, you're trying to save money for the customer, you're just trying to land a deal. Whereas right now, you're flooded with opportunity, and so you've got to raise your prices, and that will weed out people that don't want to pay those prices, and the projects you do land are going to be much better margin. I think if people do not raise prices, now and into next year, you're going to have a lot more chaos, you're going to have lower profit, and those things are not things that we want in this type of environment. So that is the second thing. Now, the third one is a big one. And this is something where I'm trying to look at the chessboard and look, farther out on the spectrum here. Maybe it's not next year, maybe it's the year after, maybe it's 2 years down the road. I'm not here to make predictions and pull out the crystal ball. But here's the scenario. So we've seen a lot of people in the last 12 to 18 months, maybe 12 to 24 months, that have doubled their businesses. Amazing. Love that. Let's say you went from 2 to 4. Okay. My guess is, and this is a guess based on a lot of conversations I've had, and then just kind of extrapolating that out over the marketplace, is that people that grew by 50% or 75%, or they doubled, somewhere in that range, that happened not as a result of better marketing and lead gen, but it happened due to market demand, right? March of last year, everything kind of froze, and then a couple months later, and then the industry just exploded, right? There was so much demand for home improvement projects, people wanting to renovate, people were staying at home more, and so we just saw the whole industry just get flooded with demand. And so you saw your business grow. So now you go from 2 to 4, and now you're at this $4 million mark. So you've probably made investments in overhead. Maybe you've brought on some new personnel. You've basically increased the size of your company and some of the costs that go along with that, right? You've doubled. So your costs may be double or close to it. So if you haven't actually built a marketing engine to support that new level of revenue, right? You went from 2 to 4. 2, you might have just gotten to 2 based on word of mouth and referrals and a little bit of marketing here and there. And now you got to 4 based on market demand, and then market demand slows. Now you've got to maintain 4, and you've never been at 4 based on a steady marketing program. And so I think the big risk, and where a lot of people run the risk of failing big time, is that they don't build the marketing engine to support their new level of revenue. Because if you want to stay at 4, you got to resell 4 every single year. You got to resell that number of projects, which means you need however many leads you got this year with all of this excess demand coming at you. So when that demand kind of trickles away, even if it's not a sharp cutoff, even if it just kind of fades a little bit and we don't stay at this super high level of demand, now you need a marketing system to support that. And so I don't want to see people go from 2 to 4, and then they go to 3.75, and then boom, they drop to 3, and they're going, uh-oh, my business doesn't work at 3 anymore because I added more costs and more overhead and more personnel or whatever it was. And now you're in a tough spot. And so again, this may not be a 12-month thing, but building a really robust marketing system takes time, and you want to build that when things are good. So I would highly recommend you think about what has my growth trajectory looked like over the last 12 to 24 months, and why has it done that? And then if I want to maintain this level, what action do I need to take? Obviously, I'm advocating for building a marketing system to support that, because we don't want to fall back to our original revenue levels and then have to build back off the ground. Like, you've got some momentum, so put your foot on the gas is my big takeaway there. So those are the three potential pitfalls or ways that I think remodelers or custom builders will fail next year. And so hopefully by kind of talking these through, thinking them through, we can avoid all of those things. And again, if you guys ever need marketing strategy help, head over to builderfunnel.com/blueprint, grab a quick call with our team. We'd love to talk to you about that. And as always, we'll see you next time here on Builder Funnel TV.